Hello, my name is Stephanie, the creative girl behind the designs. Welcome back to my channel and thanks for stopping by. So today I'm going to be setting up my February month in my creative journal. So I have all this fun stuff going on and we're going to get creative today. Stay tuned. All right, so today I just felt the need to get a bit creative, and so what I'm going to be doing, setting up my February month in my creative journal. So this is something that I pick up, I put down, I pick up, I put down. So I'm hoping to kind of get ahead of the game and maybe have it all set up, and then I'll grab it more often. It is in my catch-all or my Franken planner, but sometimes I forget to turn to that page, so we're going to kind of set up February and see if that doesn't help remind me to pick it up more. Gives me the incentive to pick it up. So let me pull out February and let's see. Okay, so we're just going to kind of get a head start with this, and we're going to get all set up. I'll just set that aside. All right. So with February, I have like this whole block area here. I've got down the sidebar. I've got a few blocks over here. And I could very easily use stickers, and I'll probably incorporate some, maybe I'm just not going to do the whole month as stickers. So I did pull out 2 stencils. Both of them are Tim Holtz, and one is a stencil, one is actually a Halloween, but I'm not going to be using those stamps. I'm looking at potentially using this little dot stencil, sorry. Lost my place there for a minute. Okay, so I also have all of my stamping or stenciling type supplies. I have, some of the dabbers, I believe they're called. I use them, I don't know what they are. And over here, so I just want to give this little tip quick tip, is that how it goes? So if you, excuse me, if you stencil and you have the dabber, there's always those little foam circles that, what do you do with once I have all the ink on them? Well, I happen to test the size out once. I'm going to put those aside so they stop rolling around, and realize they fit in perfectly in these little jewelry or bead containers. So I used to, I'll try and edit that out, a plow just went by. So I used to create beaded jewelry, handmade jewelry, and so I had a ton of these containers. And so I decided to test it one day, and voila, it worked. So I started putting all of these little foam heads that go on here into these containers. So I've kind of organized them by color. The only thing I have left to do with this is to label the container with my Dymo label maker, the color that is in here. I may have like messed up a few of the brown colors, but for the most part, it's pretty easy to tell colors based on the saturation of the ink. So there's my little tip. Using a jewelry bead container to hold your stenciling dabbers. Okay, and then of course I have some ink to clean off my stencils. I think, what's today? Tuesday. I'm having a little bit of difficulty talking. I have a bit of a frog in my throat. So let's see. So I'm gonna grab these without knocking them all over. I have some green oxide inks. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I'm probably going to have to test them before I use them. And then I've got some like black and gray, purples, and pinks. So I'm going to start with this stencil because this is the one I think is going to fill the area. So I'm going to pull this one out. And let's see. So I'm going to kind of take this. Let me get these against here so that they're out of the way. This stencil, for the most part, oh, and before I start, safety first. Okay, so all I did was I pulled out some scrap paper that I use, as you can tell, when I stencil. It's always good to use these under your paper so that you don't ruin your desktop. Okay, so I'm just going to set this one under that one for now. And we're going to take a look at, and I'm not, so with the words, I don't worry about it filtering over, because stenciling is a very nice technique. It gives like a light base. You can layer it, make it as dark as you want or as light as you want. So for my purpose, I'm really only looking to do the edges. Now, as I get further down towards the tab, there is a plastic coating over that, so that may affect some of it, but it will take for the most part. So I'm just kind of taking a peek at, so it has a nice edge to it. And this is probably going to be multi-part, meaning I'm going to be bringing the stencil down to finish it off. I think I'm going to bring a few over into these boxes. So before we start, my plan is to do, let me grab some of these. Let me pull out the ones I think I will use. And then I can always test the colors. I also have off to the side some Happy Planner stickers, which I may or may not bring in. We'll see how the time goes. So I was planning on doing like kind of like a purple and pink theme, or the color to the roses, and then green would be for the leaves. There is a lot. I don't want it to look Easter, so we'll forego that one. And if I remember correctly, this one was super dark. I'm thinking I'm looking at one of these. Okay, and then green-wise, yeah, this one would probably be too dark, because again, I don't want to make them so dark that I won't see through like the writing. Since it's my creative journal, I usually don't use the sidebar, but I'm not going to cover up notes, because if I cover it up and I try and stencil over it, it may not give me the same uniform look. So I'm going to just leave it as it is. And I just have to decide on my colors. So to do that, so let's start with one of the pinks. So before I actually put anything on my paper, you can get kind of a sense for the color. Everyone has a different way of doing it. I'll usually take just a scrap piece of paper and kind of just run it on the paper pad, or piece of paper, just to kind of get a glimpse of the colors. Now, there was these other ones, but I'm pretty sure these were not in the shade. No, that's completely peachy. What is this one here? I think this one is too muted. Let's see. Yeah, it's probably a little more muted. So those two are probably the colors I'm going to be looking at. And so let's see. So that's my pinks. And pretty much I can tell the colors that I go to mostly, which I'm pretty sure these are those two colors. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this darker pink. Let's see. what we get. Okay, I'm going to move the green aside, and I'm going to pull this one down. Now, if you can't see this, this is picked raspberry, and it's going to be kind of dark, so I kind of want to use this on a minimal, like I don't want to be heavy-handed with it. So we're going to go ahead and get this open, and I'm going to line up my... The nice thing about these is they're already boxed out. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to line them up to my page. So I'm going to bring this down a little closer to me. I think I'm still in frame. Yes. Okay. And we're just going to dive right in. So with the two pinks, I'm thinking I may do the larger flower in this darker color. So let's just give it a shot and see how it looks. Okay. And you just kind of rub it on. I'm trying not to get the leaves or the other little flowers around it, just because I don't want it to, I'm going to color those with a different color. So I'm just kind of brushing it on gently. And you can layer your color. I just wanted to do, you know, some kind of Valentine theme. I'm trying to get into those middle branches, or petals, I should say, not branches. All right, so I'm going to keep my hand on the stencil, and we're going to move down here. Now these roses are a little bit closer to, I'm just trying to keep my hand on the stencil so I don't move it, and because the leaves are pretty close together down here. So I'm just going to kind of rub this on as close as I can to the edge. And if the colors filter over, that's okay too. It's not going to harm anything if the colors mingle. And let's see. And then I'm going to grab this one. Just try not to put my hand in the ink. And that's the nice thing about the stencils. You can layer, you can, you know, put in the colors that you want to put in where you want to put them. It really is just so nice, and it adds such a nice texture and look to your planner. And then this one here, there is still a little bit filtering on the page, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of color this in as best as I can. Okay. I think this was pretty well pink. Okay. So now what I want to do before I move this, and I only have 2 of these, so I'm going to have to kind of work. Here, let's do this. And let me take my hand off of that and get out this other one. It works if you have multiples of the handle, because then you can set as many up as you need to and work as you go along. So, for example, I will have to take one of these off in order to do the leaves before I move down the page. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't move this. And so I'm going to do the lighter color in these littler flowers. And again, hopefully only getting the flower. How many are on the page? Let's see, these are all leaves. These 2 are on here. So let's do these two. Let's see if I can get these without hitting the leaf too much. Yeah, this will be a nice soft color too. And then the other thing you can do is you can also color maybe the center of the rose a lighter pink, and then take a darker one and bring it to the outside. So again, you can layer, you can mix, you can do it however it feels good for you as you're putting together your page. And I'm also trying not to hit the actual planner page because that would not help out my my vision. And let's see, I think this is a flower down here. Very small space. Let's see if I can do this without moving my stencil. There are smaller dabbers as well that you can use. I just happen to have these, so I'm going to use these. There is a bit of a petal, but I think I'm going to leave that. Okay, so there's those. Now let's take a look at our green. Again, I'm going to try and do this all and then move it down as opposed to going back and forth. It'll be a bit messy at first, but it'll come out fine. Let's see, all I'm going to do is just do a little test of the colors because I need a leaf color, but I don't want it to be super dark. Let's see. Ooh, that one's a pretty one. So let's put that one there. This one I think is going to be too dark. Yeah, ooh, too dark. Okay, so these are my two colors. I think I'm actually going to go with the Shabby Shutters. I think that gives a nice light color to it. Now, I'm going to take some paper towel, which I also have to the side, just so I can take this off without making a mess of my desktop. Because I now need to pull out my greens and figure out which one was the sage. I think it was this one. So, and that again was the benefit to labeling my inkers, because then I don't have to worry about that. Okay, assuming I haven't moved this. I think I have the right one on. Okay, just I tested it off to the side. So we have this leaf up here. And then we have this one going down. Camera might shake just a bit because with the table it moves when I rub this on. And let's see. Oh, I got a couple here. These were the little ones from the smaller flower. And let's see. Coming down, I have this one. So this is just kind of a fun, easy way to get some color into your planner. And this will dry. It's like anything. It will, you can write over this if you want, again, depending on how much you've built your color up. And I'm going to do this leaf here, and then we're going to kind of switch gears. Or I should really say, move this down. Okay. The reveal. Here we go. So the nice thing too with stenciling is when you pull your stencil off, you're not really going to get any kind of smearing of the ink. If I can pick it up, that is. Okay. Now, just so you can get a fuller effect to that. Let me take my page. Let me move it to a clear. So see how you get that color in there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stencil and I am going to put a few of the pink flowers I'm going to put a few pink flowers here just to fill in this space a little. And I'm not done on this side. I do have some other things I'm doing, but I'm just going to fill in these little flowers here. Just some faint flowers to give it a little more. Okay, cute. So now I'm going to move this down and I'm going to try and figure out the orientation I want to do for down here. And you can take your stencil. Let me move this up a bit. You can also take your stencil, and so here's the pattern this way, and you can flip it around. So these are really just, you can work with them however it works for you. So I'm thinking what I might do is I'm going to turn this upside down because I do have that tab that has the plastic on it. And then I'm going to do a few of these over here. I think my sponge isn't on there correctly. Let's see if I can get a few of these pink ones. So if you're going to be building your color, I wonder if I'm hitting the tab on that. I might be hitting the tab because it's not picking up. When you're building your color, you probably want to try and work lighter to darker. It just helps to keep the integrity of the colors. And let's see, I am going to do, let me get my green on here because that'll be last. And I'm going to get some darker one because I am going to do this flower. All right, so we have, let's see. And as you use the sponge more and more, it's going to pick up more ink. So just know that, you know, you don't always have to keep tapping it unless you want a darker color on there. So there's my pink. Let's get our leaves. I think this is actually part of the rose, or a half rose, I should say. So I'm going to color that under that presumption. Okay. So let's pull this off and see. It just makes it look so, yeah, and over here you can tell on the tab a bit. Let me pull this up for you. So you can tell on the tab that there's ink, and I will probably have to just run something over that because it's probably not going to dry on there. So I'm just going to kind of wipe it off now so I don't smear it on me. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring, I have such a problem picking this up today. Here we go. All right. Now, I think originally what I was going to do was carry it over the top of the page. So let's, oops, so sorry. Let's put these over there, get them out of the way. Let me put my inks over here. That at least gets them out of the way. Okay. So I have to decide if I want to carry, I do think I want to carry some of it over. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I need the darker one. And I'm not finished. I do have something else. It's not just this stencil. And then I have some leaves. Let's see, I think, I'm not going to do the leaf. Let me see. Let me hold this in place. And yeah, I think I'm not going to do a leaf on there. There's a reason. Okay, let me just come over here. We will get this one done. And for this side, I am going to make sure that I get some leaf over here so that I have something filling that color in. All right, so I have green in my hand. Let's see, we'll do a few of these. And then let me grab my pink. Okay. Cute. All right. So I am going to finish this side of my paper. And again, because this area is so small at the top, I'm just going to do these top roses. So I think for this one, I want to do this longer rose. Okay, we'll do pink. And then we'll get some green back in here. I'm going to hold this pink because I'm trying to minimize how much. I just want a little bit. Okay. You'll see why. Let me get my ink off my hands. Okay. So see, it gave me just a little bit of a hint of pink. So let's bring that, and I don't want to make it the same. Let's do this side this way. We'll make it slightly different. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Almost grabbed the wrong one. And our leaf. I think I'm not going to make the pink rose on the bottom. Okay. So let's pull these together. Okay. So here's my 2 pages. It's a little hard on this one side because I do have all that other stuff going on. But see how cute this is? All right. Let me finish with this. So what I'm going to do is on this page, I'm going to pull in a corner rose. And some green. Excuse me. Again, I just have a little frog in my throat. All right, and then I'm going to bring in, I'm just going to kind of use it like this. I'll make a mess of my hands. But that's what crafting's for, right? I'm just going to kind of buff this on as best as I can. Okay. Oops. Cute. I lost a piece. Oh, here it is. Lost a piece of paper towel. Okay. So there is the page so far. I am just going to take a quick break and clean my stencil. All right. So I just had to take a little time, clean off my stencil. I do like to keep my supplies clean. Helps to prolong them, and you know, the colors won't mix together and so forth. So if I'm trying for a specific color, I'll get that color. So I'm just gonna put these away. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to pull over this stencil. And for this one, I'm just going to use the dots. It's just a little prep work. Okay, so we did our pinks, we did green. Now I want to go for a purple. And based on the colors, I feel like this is probably going to be a little light, but let me see. I mean, maybe it won't be. So all I'm going to do is just a quick test. The one thing I have not done yet either is taken a sample of all of my oxide inks. I think I'm going to go with this one because this one I think is going to be too close to the color. Let's see, we did these three. Try and keep my colors separate. And then this one, I feel like it might be too light. Again, I don't want it to turn out like an Easter spread, so I am going to go with the Dusty Concord. And if I remember, I think I use that quite frequently. Okay, so we have, now the challenge is going to be finding the, I think it's this one. Because there's, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this one. That's the one we're going to use. So I hope it's the right one. Okay. Here we go. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take, again, let me move a page aside over here. So I'm going to take the dots and I'm just going to kind of scatter them around. So no rhyme or reason. I'm just gonna put them on the page. I'm gonna grab some color. Let me make sure I have the right, okay, the right sponge for this. And then I'm just going to give it a little bit of color. Having trouble picking that up. And then over here, I wanted to fill this in. All right. And then I'm going to bring this page over, get a little over here as well. So I think for this, I'll do a couple here. And I really love the fact that it has the dots already going down the disc edge. That just kind of lends to the aesthetic of it. My daughter's favorite new word. Okay, see how cute that is? And I think I'm going to bring it a smidge into this first box, which is where I did one of the flowers. Perfect. Oops. Yeah, I'm running out of little space over here. I'm not sure why, but I have a whole new desk space set up, and yet I still find myself running low on space. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take another little break. I'm going to clean up my stencil, and then we're going to put the finishing touches on this page, which is my February creative journal. And I'm looking forward to really using this page. I love this cute little look. I love the polka dots. I love the flowers. So yeah. All right, let me clean this up. I'll be right back. All right, so let me take these off of here because I'm done stenciling. And again, these will dry, no problem. I'll be able to write over them. I'll be able to use marker, whichever. Okay. So, I love how this came out. All right, so what I was going to do was use a marker, but I'm thinking what I would prefer to do is stamp my idea. So I'm going to use, I did pull these out because they do have Valentine's hearts. I think this heart's going to be too big. I'm looking for a heart. And let me get a smaller block. As you know, I was going to be working on my carts, my craft carts, and my idea to do the stamping cart didn't quite work out like I thought, so I had to kind of, regroup that. So I am still working on it, so I have my stamp supplies kind of everywhere. I want to grab this cute little heart. We're going to start off with this one, and since I'll keep with the same colors, so I think I want to use this raspberry, since that's the very dominant color. So all I'm going to do is take my ink and, oh, thought I got some on my page. No. So what I'm going to do for each, let me make sure I give myself room here. And let me show you how cute that little heart is. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heart and the stamp, and I'm going to go down each row, and I'm going to put it at the corner. Okay, so I think I got all the boxes. Let me just pull this one back over and check. Oops, I forgot one down here. Right, so those, yes, I forgot one down here. Okay, look how cute that is. Let me clean off my stamp. All right, I'm just gonna push these up a smidge so that I can get this back on. Now, if you remember, I mentioned in February, we have multiple birthdays, and I don't know if I want to use a stamp to mark them, or I am going to use this stamp. So let me make sure I have a block for that. That's doable. Okay. So let me go ahead and grab this off. And then I'm going to switch colors. All right, and we're going to switch over to this purple. And I'm going to pull this down here. These are, just in case I hadn't mentioned it before, these are stamps from Cocoa Daisy. And I just love these stamps. The size is perfect. It's, you know, the perfect size for me to be able to get it into both a traveler's journal as well as a happy planner. So I will always tend to grab these first. I'm just making sure I have all of my spots inked. Okay, without getting it on my block. So then what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to put a little banner here. It's not quite long enough, but that's okay. Yes, that is so cute. All right, again, let me clean my stamp. Sometimes with stamps, I get going and like I can't stop. I'll have a lot of editing to do because, again, I always love to incorporate as many stamps as I can, especially when I've already started doing like a border like this. I just love to incorporate them. And I mean, they're cheaper than stickers. You can use them over and over and over again as many times as you want. And then for, let's see, I think to keep it somewhat muted, I am going to take, these little hearts. It's a cluster of hearts, and I'm going to use that on Valentine's Day. Cute. And then, of course, with the acrylic stamps, the nice thing about them is you can, if you mess up like I did over here, I didn't quite get the stamp down right, you can go back over it because you can see right through it. So I do tend to lean more towards the acrylic stamps just for that reason. All right. So rather than, and I could stamp all day. But rather than do that, I am going to, I'm just looking to make sure there's nothing else on here I want to do. Okay. I am going to stop. Sometimes, like I said, I get started with the stamping and I can't stop. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to let it be. Now, I did pull out Happy Planner stickers. I don't think I'm going to incorporate them. Let me just kind of show you. Okay, so it goes from there. So I think you can see most of this. They have these cute little circles, which I love. I'm just going to take a quick glance. There are some hearts, but again, I put hearts on there. I'm not going to do that. I do love this little love bug. I think I'm going to use one of these. It's so cute. So I lied. I'm going to use a sticker. Okay. Because I kind of want to put it over here in this cute little area here. It is a, it's not a clear sticker, so it's a paperback. Okay. And then the only other thing I would be putting on here for February is boxes, but I don't think I'm going to find ones that I'm gonna like. And the reason is because, again, we have birthdays, but there are, and I already put the hearts. So I was thinking of these corner ones, but because I already put the hearts at the corner, it would mess it up. So I'm not going to do those. Okay, so that's settled that. That's done. So I have a little bit of stickers, a little bit of stamping. I'm just knocking everything over, don't mind me. And look at this. Just a cute little page for my creative journal and my happy planner. This page will then be moved into my Franken planner, but for now it's going to still stay in my creative journal. I want to keep it in there just until I'm ready for it. The other thing you can do with something like this is you can take a vellum and you can put vellum in between these two pages, just like for a little added fun. I'm pretty sure there's a vellum out there that was a polka dot, maybe gold polka dot or white. Maybe it was a Joann's. That would look adorable against this page as well, if you did a theme like that. You don't even need to do this. You could stamp that as well. But, you know, I added in the extra hearts because it is Valentine's month. We have, you know, my birthday, my mother who passed, my father-in-law's birthday, my daughter's birthday. So, and then a few, you know, cousins and so forth. So there are multiple birthdays in this month, and it's going to be a fun month to journal up. So I'm excited to get started in February, and I'm so happy I am ahead of the game. So I hope I have inspired you to do something creative today and every day, and that you create a beautiful life one plan at a time. Thank you for watching.